Saturday evening, August 1st, 2015. Today I had to, be at another, public, social event to take and pitch for the Asperger Works non-profit organization where I'm on the one of the members of the board of directors. And of course today I did get to meet the mayor of the city of Lawrence, Massachusetts, where our organization is going to be based. And we still have a lot of fundraising to perform, and we're trying to finalize everything for the our first annual fundraising dinner coming up in October. Of course, 2 days ago I spent time, I had to be down in Boston for a meeting at the Boston, Massachusetts chapter of the disability rights organization ADAPT. Called by Rhoda, who's another new African American friend of mine who is physically disabled. And planning for the next month. We're gonna MassADAPT chapter of ADAPT is going to be having the Boston chapter is going to be having a public forum, educational forum about autism. And of course, I am going to be one of the panelists. At the public forum. Plus, also I'm going to be bringing down one of the a professional television camera, portable television camcorder, to take and video record the forum, so I could eventually will get that up onto Derry, New Hampshire's community public access cable TV in-town channel next month. This educational public forum about autism, which I'm going to be on the panel, be one of the panelists next month. To talk to the public about autism and Asperger's syndrome, and how we adults, try to cope with living in the world that is not made for us, as persons on the autism spectrum. So anyways, I've got a lot of things going on. Plus also 3 days ago, I did take the time to drive all the way out to Swansea, here in New Hampshire, which is the next town south of Keene, where until the end of the day tomorrow, the Cheshire County Agricultural Fair is being held. And of course I did video record the different different activities at the Cheshire County Agricultural Fair out in Swansea here in New Hampshire for Derry, New Hampshire Community Public Access Television. And Friday I created another independent produced television program of my own creation on this year's Cheshire County Agricultural Fair. So that got done. And gonna do some planning on getting some doing some backyard yard work, was it let's try to start catching up on that. Not much else was happening, but that I will mention the fact that that one thing that is coming up as an amendment to the 1990 Americans with Disabilities Act is another amendment which is entitled the Community Inclusion Act, subsection 2 the Americans with Disabilities Act. It is still in Congress, in committee, and what it is does is mandate full community inclusion for all adults with disabilities, regardless of disability. Well, all adults and children, of course. That's what I mean, all persons. Because right now, with the Americans with Disabilities Act, as it is, still with it, community inclusion is still only optional. Was it at the state level, at the individual state levels, of individual states, and there's a totally wide gap in what is considered to be community inclusion, that varies state by state by state. And this idea, this was a Community Inclusion Act amendment to the Americans with Disabilities Act, is to try to make it such that individual states cannot weasel out of their obligation to the federal government to provide full community inclusion for children and adults with disabilities, regardless of disability. And so that is, and of course, Senator Chuck Schumer is a sponsor of the bill. Also, Senator Edward Markey of Massachusetts is on the bill. Schumer is the state of New York, and Ed Markey is, of course, Massachusetts. But here in New Hampshire, the person to talk to at the Senate level about this is Senator Jeanne Shaheen, the Democratic Party senator. The other senator was Kelly Ayotte, is a Republican, and is not, who was a former Attorney General of New Hampshire, is not in favor of full community inclusion for persons with disabilities. So essentially with it, I have to put on my lobbyist hat as a member of the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network and contact Senator Jeanne Shaheen to lobby for the adoption of the Community Inclusion Act amendment to the Americans with Disabilities Act. Because still, the Americans with Disabilities Act is still not, shall we say, well, it's not perfect, but, there are a lot of things which, are not being addressed, at the state level of the states, but it can only be addressed at the federal level, and the federal level is the only way to take and get the states to take and do what is right, to ensure full community inclusion for children and adults with disabilities, not just with education, not just with access, not just with transportation, but also with employment, housing, recreation, and also other aspects of community inclusion, that have to be done. So, well, anyways, that's what I've been up to lately.